Welcome to the 4th training lesson, comrade. Today you will learn how to make a safe approach and land in a MiG-19P. Keep the speed of between 500 and 600 km per hour and fly straight ahead for the time being. You will land at your home airfield of Novorossiysk. You will first contact the tower and then make all necessary preparations before commencing the approach. Next you will align the jet with the runway, perform an overhead brake and land using a standard pattern. Alright, first select blue channel on the radio. Good, once you inform the tower that you are inbound, you will be given a heading and distance to the initial point. Doing a little math, you will be able to determine how long you will need to fly to get there. My advice is to keep a constant speed of 600 km per hour. That way you will know that each minute you cover 10 km. From there it is easy to calculate the time and use the stopwatch to measure it. Contact the tower now, then turn towards the given heading and calculate the time you will have to fly.
Мысхака, 103, возврат.
Now it is time to prepare the jet for landing. At first, this may be a bit overwhelming to do all that while flying, but you need to get used to that if you want to become the best of the best in the Soviet Air Force. First, look at the right panel. Make sure that the rocket launcher left and right cannon switches are in down-off position. Check that the radar is off and not emitting. Check that the anti-skid system is connected. Very good. As you fly, we will now describe the pattern and required speeds. I will be giving you shorter instructions when you start the actual landing. When you reach the initial point, you will turn towards the airfield and start your descent. You will arrive over the runway at the altitude of 500 meters and speed of 500 km per hour. When the runway disappears from the view, brake right and make a 180-degree turn, ending up flying over the water parallel to the runway around 3 km away from it. The course set on your GIK-1 will help you verify that you are on the correct heading on the downwind. As the edge of the runway passes your 5 o'clock, you will extend your landing gear and wait for it to fully deploy. You will also reduce your speed to 450 km per hour. You will then move the gear handle to neutral position and deploy your flaps to take-off position and begin your turn to the base leg. Your speed at that point should be around 400 km per hour. On base leg you will keep the speed of 400 km per hour and extend the flaps to landing position. When turning towards the final, you need to be above 380 km per hour. You will want to come out of final at the altitude of 250 meters and decrease the speed to 300 km per hour. At the altitude around of 8 meters, gently pull back the stick. At 1 meter, close the throttles and use the stick to make sure that you touch the runway with 2 wheels of the main landing gear. The landing speed is 235 km per hour. When the nose wheel is in contact with the ground, retract the flaps and deploy the parachute. This is the whole procedure. Once you get to initial point, turn towards the runway heading and I will be giving you shorter instructions. If you already passed it, return to the initial point. Start your turn towards the runway, arrive above it at the altitude of 500 meters and speed of 500 km per hour. Now brake right and make the wide U-turn. Fly parallel to the runway in the opposite direction. Extend the landing gear, wait for it to drop down. Return the gear handle to neutral position and select takeoff flaps. Turn to base leg, reduce speed to 400. Put the flaps to landing position, keep the speed above 380 and turn to final when ready. During the turn, descend to 250 meters and reduce speed to 300. Now land. Remember to put the nose up. Good. Flaps off, deploy parachute, brake. Alright, taxi to the parking area. When you leave the active runway, disconnect the nose wheel brake and unpressurize the cockpit. Stop the aircraft, increase the RPM to 10,000 and keep them like that for 1 minute. Put the throttles in the off position. Disconnect all the switches except for fuel pump tank 1 and battery. When both engines stop rotating, you can turn off these switches too. Very good. The landing could have been better, but you show some promise, comrade. Keep it up.